Well, good morning everybody. How y'all doing? Pretty good here, and welcome to the channel. Today is going to be TRD exhaust install on the Tacoma up there. And I've got them laid out. Actually, I have the old Mbrp exhaust laid out on the table behind me here with the new TRD exhaust, just to kind of take a little bit of a look and see what the difference is between the two. So here you have them. The TRD exhaust, of course, is here in the front, and the Mbrp is here in the back. And you can see right away, first of all, the muffler on the Mbrp exhaust is much smaller as compared to the TRD. That's why you're getting a lot more sound probably out of the Mbrp exhaust. The bend is a little bit different here. You can see the bend here in the tailpipe section as compared to the bend in the Mbrp section. Just a little bit different. I don't know if it's any big deal. It's just done differently. And of course, the way that the tip is going to stick out is going to be a little bit different as well. Let's kind of twist this over a little, see if we can marry them up a little better. Not too much different. I mean, the angle with the tip on, keep in mind I don't have the tip on the Mbrp at the moment, so it would be sticking out a little bit longer than that. But pretty darn similar, a little bit different bend in the two, but not a whole lot different, so not too bad at all. And let's see, this box is covering up here. Maybe there's a surprise in there. So here we go. I've cut off the box that was over here. It's actually a little heat shield. Isn't that interesting? So there's a heat shield welded on back here that the box was protecting. Didn't have that on the Mbrp. Not sure if it's really even necessary, but that is the difference between the two. So that gives you a look at what the Mbrp exhaust looks like as compared to the TRD. Now we're going to install that TRD exhaust. Here we go. A little bit of housekeeping. Also, special shout out to sparksparts.com. Then check them out, sparksparts.com. Don't forget discount code RobMotive for 5% off. Anyway, this is the exhaust that we're going to install today. It is the TRD catback exhaust. And you can see up here, I've already got the Mbrp exhaust removed. There's the gasket, by the way. Hopefully still in good shape, it looks to be. We're going to install that from the cat, sort of, up there are the cats, on back to the rear. And how I'm going to do this, we're going to bring the exhaust in here, lay it on the lift. I'm fortunate enough to have a lift here to do this, thank God. And then I'm going to put some bungees under it, like I always do, and feed it through the grommets up there, and go ahead and secure it all on. Now, I am going to do this kind of high speed for you guys, because I've done installs on exhaust before, so I don't want to labor all that out. So you're going to see a high speed install. I'm just going to sit the camera down, and you can see me finagle this thing up there. All right, here we go. Again, not going to be a lot of talking, just going to be a lot of grunting, and we're going to do this in high speed. So here we go. So far, so good. I think we need to start in the rear and go ahead and put the hangers up. All right. I will say that was not a lot of fun, but it honestly was a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be. This exhaust is rather heavy, so keep that in mind when you're doing it. You might need somebody to help, especially if you're doing it up in the air. It actually probably would be easier to do if you were on the ground, because you could actually use the ground as support. You wouldn't have to you know, lift all the pieces by yourself, if you will. But that's why I use the bungee cords. They really come in handy. I gotta say, they make life a heck of a lot easier. But now I'm to the point here where all I have to do, let you guys see, is bolt it on right here. That's it. It's all hung. All the rubber grommets and stuff are secured. So the exhaust is hanging right now with the rubber grommets. The bungee cords really serve no function now because it can't fall. It's hung and everything is on there properly. One thing I will say, I will double check. Make sure you go back, double check. Make sure you didn't forget a grommet, or one's not all the way on, or something stupid that you could easily do while you're under here. I'll do that. But now I'm going to go ahead and secure the bolts and hopefully finish this thing up. Let you guys see it. All right. Got everything positioned square, I hope, I think. Did use the ratchet to tighten the bolts down a little bit, but not all the way. I should say the impact. We're going to use just a socket set or a ratchet by hand to tighten this, because I don't want to over tighten it. There, like I said, if I went any tighter, I would be giving it too much, I think, and I don't want to damage anything. So that's it. Everything is on, everything is tight. All we got to do now is go back and cut that bubble wrap off of that gorgeous exhaust tip and bring it down and test it out. See you in a minute. All right, let's reveal the exhaust tip. You guys probably saw it in one of the previous videos, but now it's on the truck. So let's go ahead and take off the cover. I had put this back on after I shot the previous video to protect it during install, of course. I think it did quite well, but no need for it anymore. And there you go. That's what it looks like right there. You'll notice there is more clearance here than there was in the Mbrp exhaust. Not that I think there was anything wrong with the Mbrp, but this just does sit a little bit lower. Of course, this is a welded on tip, so you can't adjust any of that. And then over here at the tire, you remember I pointed out this heat shield. This is why. It's because the tire is in close proximity to it, but I don't think it's really necessary, but hey, why not? It's there, and there is good clearance between the pipe and the tire. A little bit more, actually, than what we had with the Mbrp exhaust. And you can notice there's no scorching of the tire there or anything, so I think it's okay. But that's what it looks like with the cover off of the tip. And we are done. You guys can see down the whole run there, maybe. Yeah, from the tip right there on down the whole run of the exhaust, right up to the front there where it's connected. And a pretty easy job. You know, people often ask me to rank these jobs. You know, what did I think? How difficult were they? If you have a lift or some way to get it up in the air, I'd say it's about a 2.5, with 5 being the most difficult, 1 being the easiest. About a 2.5, and that's only because it's rather heavy and you have to finagle it through the back part here if you don't have or if you do have a lift, a little bit easier. If you don't have a lift and you're doing it on the ground, I might give it a 3 because you're going to want to be careful not to scratch everything up against the ground or the pavement or whatever you're laying on while you're doing it. But still not really that difficult. It is all bolt-on. Everything fit perfectly, so there was no difficulty getting it on. Kudos to the TRD department at Toyota for designing this. It fits perfectly. So now we're going to get it down and we're going to start it up. You guys will be the first to experience this along with me. I haven't heard it before, either from a cold start, which it definitely is, or out on the road. Let's do that. All right, we're in the cab. I'm going to give you guys a cold start inside the cab now, let you hear that, and then we're going to go for a ride. Here we go. there you go. You could hear what it sounded like cold start in the cab. And now we're going to take it out for a ride. I'll let you guys know what I think. All right, here we are. We're out on the road, and I'm going to stop and do a pretty aggressive takeoff. So here we are. Let's listen. There you go. Now, I've done that before. If you watch the channel, you've heard me do that before with the Mbrp exhaust on. And obviously, it is a heck of a lot quieter than the Mbrp exhaust. That is for sure. No argument about that at all. Obviously, in the cabin, you're going to get less sound. There is no drone of any kind. There is a little bit of I'm not sure if I'd call it a grumbly or guttural exhaust note to it. You can hear coming off the back right corner. Surely nothing close to what the V8 of the Tundra is, because this is a V6. Again, I'm not hearing any kind of a drone. I can actually, at stops, hear the motor running, where I couldn't hear that before with the Mbrp exhaust because it was louder. So, what do I think? Well, I wanted something a bit quieter, and I certainly got that. I did want something with a bit of a growl. Time will tell. You know, the exhaust does need to break in a little bit. At this point, I would say definitely not. I don't have really much of a growl at all. If you guys can hear, I don't know. I hear more road noise than anything at the moment. And this is a rather coarse road, if you will. But so it is definitely quieter. If you're looking for something that has a throatier exhaust note to it, and you want to hear it all the time, especially in the cab, I would say that the TRD exhaust is probably not going to get it. You're going to want something else aftermarket, an Mbrp or maybe a Borla or a Corsa or something like that. But definitely probably not the TRD. Anyway, I just wanted to get on, show you guys the install in high speed, let you guys know what it sounds like so far and what it's performing at like in a very short, simple test, of course. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And let me know what you think of my decision. Did I make a mistake? I don't know. Anyway, we'll see you next time on the web. Have a great day. Bye.